Imagine yourself just finishing up a workout. You're sweating, your heart's racing, and you're trying to catch your breath. And I'm sure you're all thinking about the physical benefits that your workout just had, like losing weight, burning calories, or even getting a six-pack. However, today I would like to explore all of the mental benefits that working out has on your brain. Not only are you being physically impacted, but when you exercise, you're also being benefited mentally by enhancing your mood and improving your memory and cognitive functioning. I know after a bad day, if I go on a walk or go to the gym, it makes me feel a lot better and allows me to clear my head. So let's first take a look at how exercising can enhance your mood and reduce those feelings that you might have after a bad day. There are a few different ways that exercising can enhance your mood, and that is by releasing endorphins and brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Whether you're lifting weights or riding your bike, your brain is also always releasing a specific chemical that enhances your mood and your attitude. According to the article, Exercise in Depression by WebMD, when you exercise, your body releases chemicals called endorphins. These endorphins interact with receptors in your brain that reduce your perception of pain. Since this triggers a positive reaction in your body, it therefore enhances your mood and gives you a more positive outlook on life. Medical author Melissa Conrad-Stopler also adds that, in addition to decreased feelings of pain, secretion of endorphins leads to feelings of happiness, modulation of appetite, and enhancement of the immune response. With high endorphin levels, we feel less pain and fewer negative effects of stress. Your brain also releases a chemical called brain-derived neurotrophic factor that also helps to enhance your mood. This chemical helps to soothe ruffled neurons to promote a sense of clarity. This is why a problem can seem more manageable after you go on a walk or a run to clear your head. According to Derek Whitney's article, Exercise, Nature's Mood Enhancer, Whitney also adds that the useful thing about brain-derived neurotrophic factors and endorphins is that they are addictive. The body can become addicted to the sense of clarity and well-being that may follow after exercise. The combination of endorphins and brain-derived neurotrophic factors that are released during exercise can be beneficial to your mental health by enhancing your mood and making you a more positive person. Now that we know how working out can enhance our moods, now let's explore another way exercising can be mentally beneficial. Continuous exercise also has been proven to increase your memory and cognitive functioning. Many researchers have been studying how exercise can increase your memory. According to Jen Usher and Jennifer Carr's article, Physical Exercise Beefs Up the Brain, they explain that when you exercise, you increase the size of your hippocampus in your brain that naturally gets smaller as you age. The hippocampus is the part of the brain that is in charge of your memory and thinking skills. They also explain that as you age, it's natural for the hippocampus to get smaller in size, therefore resulting in weaker memorization skills and cognitive functioning. However, long-term exercise can have the opposite effect and actually increase the size of the hippocampus, enhancing your memorization skills and thinking skills. Not only are you increasing the size of your hippocampus when you exercise, but you are also creating new cells in your brain that can help the brain's overall performance. Heidi Goodman's article, Regular Exercises Changes the Brain to Improve Memory and Thinking Skills, states that the benefits of exercise come directly from its ability of insulin reduce inflammation, and stimulate the release of growth factors, which are chemicals in the brain that affect the health of brain cells, the growth of new blood vessels in the brain, and even the abundance and survival of new brain cells. Since exercise reduces stress and anxiety, you are less likely to release those chemicals when you participate in physical activity. Many studies have suggested that parts of the brain that control thinking and memory have greater volume in people who exercise versus people who don't. Even more exciting is the finding that engaging in a program of regular exercise of moderate intensity over 6 months or a year is associated with an increase in volume of selected brain regions, says Dr. Scott McGinnis, a neurologist and instructor at Harvard University. Let's now take a look at this picture that shows how much neuroactivity goes on in your brain. So on the left, it shows little activity going on just after 20 minutes of sedentary activity. But on the right, it shows a lot more activity going on, and that's just after a 20-minute walk. not only, so that's all it takes to clear your head and really improve your cognitive functioning. Imagine how much better you would learn if you just went on a 20-minute walk before class. If you feel like your memory is a little foggy or you cannot pick up new information as well as you used to, try exercising a couple times a week. Not only is it going to improve your memory, it's also going to increase your cognitive functioning to help you in school and in life. Through research, we are lucky to be able to appreciate not only the physical benefits of exercise, but the mental benefits as well. Exercise releases chemicals in our brain like endorphins and brain-derived neurotrophic factors to enhance our moods, and also increases the size of the hippocampus in our brains to improve our memory and cognitive functioning. The next time you go to the gym, go on a walk, or get any type of exercise, pay close attention to how you feel afterward. I guarantee you'll feel better than when you started. I can spell that.
All right, so Owen, what did you think?
I thought that the topic was pretty clear, and it was easy to tell what the speech was about, and it was a pretty easy speech to follow along with. There wasn't too much confusion on what you were talking about. I thought that the visual aid was pretty straightforward and effective, and overall that was a pretty good speech.
All right, well, let's fill in a few details that Owen skipped over. I thought the visualization as an attention device was pretty effective. I thought that worked well. You were very clear in what your purpose statement was at the beginning of the speech. The preview sounded to me like it was a little bit repetitive. I could hear that there are distinct points there, but it wasn't very clear how each of those points, like I said, that when I say they're distinct, I could tell that they were separate points, but I couldn't tell what was different about the separate points. It sounded like it was kind of the same thing again. So I think there's got to be a way to maybe fix that. The citation of your sources was excellent. They're integrated into the speech. You did a good job citing them. There was one or two places where you did what we call a post-citation. So you're giving us the source after you've presented the information. That sometimes is a little bit confusing in an oral presentation. It's not that big a deal in written work, but in an oral presentation, it's usually best to do the source citation before you give us that information. That was not a big deal. I could hear the transitions in the body of the speech pretty well, so I thought you did well organizationally there. The visual materials, you have one visual that I thought, I agreed with Owen. It was pretty straightforward to the point. It showed the difference there. I just was wondering, why is it comparing somebody at rest? I mean, if they were doing something, wouldn't there also be more brain activity? I mean, if you're not doing anything, I'm not surprised at all that there's not that much brain activity and alertness. But if I'm sitting here listening to a speech, watching TV, reading, writing, any other kind of activity, wouldn't there be more brain activity? It seems to me like maybe the visuals need to have comparisons to other kinds of activities as well to make physical activity stand out even more. I mean, in comparison to sedentary behavior, I don't think anybody's surprised that the brain functions in that relation. But how different it is, not quite clear. And I think you could also explain a little bit more what those differences mean. Is that advantageous? That it looks more active, is that a good thing? How do we know it does some of the things that you were talking about? I think you could use a little bit more explanation there. It was just big enough to see, so you kind of slip in under the wire there. It's a little bit awkward holding it up that way, but it was okay. It was okay, and it just seemed like you're missing some opportunities to maybe do a little bit more, but I thought that the colors were good, and the two things that you contrasted were pretty effective. Delivery is not a huge element of our evaluation here, but I do want to point out that there's a lot more reading than you probably want. And some of that I know is due to the fact that you have a lot of quoted material in the speech, and I don't expect you to memorize that. But it did feel frequently like the transitions that you had and your explanations, you're reading those things too. And I don't really get a sense that you're connecting with the audience. I get a sense that you're looking up from your speech occasionally instead of talking to us. So I do know that you raise your eyes and you look out in this direction, but you're not really connecting with people, and that'll be something that you're going to want to work on. All right, thank you.